Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a full set of coffin nails, and most of it is going to be real time. So of course the first thing that I'm doing is just going in and pushing back the cuticles, and this is going to expose the new growth and help with reducing lifting. After we finish pushing back the cuticles, remember that we're going to go in with a 180 sanding band, and I'm using my Melody Susie Scarlet Nail Drill, which I do have a promo code for them. And remember that when you're looking for a nail drill, it just depends on how much you're willing to spend. Also, you know, what style drill you want, but Melody Susie has a few different ones, whether it's rechargeable ones, you know, some are bigger than others. It just depends on what you want, but they have a lot of different ones. And they also have some UV lights as well as some other products, so I'll be sure to leave the link down below and my promo code. So as always, whenever we're removing the shine from the natural nail with the 180 sanding band, I use my drill at 5,000 RPMs, and I first go around the cuticle area, going from the right side over to the left side, just going back and forth, making sure that we get as close as we can to that cuticle area, because usually that's the place that a lot of people miss, and that's where your lifting will start at. If you guys have ever had a set and they start lifting from the back, that's because most likely they, you know, you or whoever you went to did not prep the nail correctly, or that's one of the reasons why. But again, 180 sanding band, filing at 5,000 RPMs, removing the shine from the cuticle area as well as the rest of the nail. And to remove it from the cuticle area, I go in with the very tip of the drill bit, and then I use the belly of the drill bit to file the rest of the nail. And then as you can see, I'm also using the same drill bit to just file down on the free edge as well. So next we're going to go in and apply the nail tips. So these are my natural nail tips, which will be back on my website once it's back up and running. It is currently down for restocking. So remember that when we're applying the nail tips, you want to make sure that you size them correctly. You want the nail tip to fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it too big or too small, because then the nail will eventually pop off or cause lifting. And then once you sized it correctly, you just apply the nail glue, which I'm using the KDS glue, which will be back on the website as well. I just apply that on the back and then place the nail on the nail tip on the nail bed. Just hold it down for a few seconds and then apply the rest of the nails. But again, it's really important that you apply the correct size tip. Your nail tips come in a number 0, which is your biggest nail tip, to a number 9, which is the smallest nail tip. And you want to make sure that when you're sizing the nails, that you size each nail individually, because I know some people, you know, like they'll size the pinky and get 2 nail tips. They'll size the ring finger and get 2 nail tips. That way, you know, like they don't have to size both hands. But honestly, some people, I know for a fact, you know, this is how I am. Like, I know for a fact one of my thumbs is bigger than the other, and a lot of clients are like that. Even like with, you know, people's toes, I know my right toe nail is bigger than or wider than my left one. So that's why it's important that you measure each finger individually, because you just never know. Alrighty, so now we're just going to go in with the tip cutter, and you can find this one on Amazon. And we're just going to go in and trim like literally the number off the nail. Each nail has numbers on it, and we're just trimming down the number. And then she likes her thumbs a little bit shorter, that way she can text really good, with no problems. So we're going to go ahead and trim all of them down, and then afterwards we're going to go in and measure them against each other. And after that, we're going to go in with a straight edge nail clipper, and we're just not filing but cutting down the sides of the nails. And this is just going to help us save time whenever we actually go in and start shaping up the nails, because this is just unnecessary product that we would be filing off. So it kind of just helps with like not putting all of that work on my hand, because you guys know that recently or here lately I had been having problems with my hands hurting while I'm filing. So this just gets some of that work off of it. But again, make sure that it is a straight edge nail clipper. I will have these on my website as well. Again, it is currently down for restocking, but it will be up pretty soon. And I usually post about it on my Instagram first, so be sure to go follow me on Instagram at getnail32. So next we're going to go in and shape the nails. So as you can see, I go in on the sides first, going exactly at a 90-degree angle from the nail groove, which is the side of the nail going towards the free edge, just going back and forth and alternating between each side. That way the nail is straight, and then also making sure that you file the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle as well. As you can see, I hold my file vertically, and I just feel like you're able to get it like super straight when you do it like this instead of horizontally. But it's definitely up to you. Just whatever works for you is completely fine. And then I also blending nail tip right in the middle, which I know you guys seen me do that as well. But again, filing both sides, just alternating between side to side. You don't want to file too much on one side. That's why I say to alternate, because then your nail is going to be crooked. And then again, just filing the free edge and blending the nail tip as you see me doing here, just gently filing down just a little bit of the nail tip to kind of blend it in with the natural nail, and then again just filing the free edge. So we're going to do that on all of the nails, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so the next I'm going to go in with the primer, and I use the Young Nail Protein Bond. And with this one, you just apply it on the natural nail. As you can see, you just do one coat all over the natural nail, and that's pretty much it. And this just helps the acrylic adhere a lot better to the nail, and also removing any of those oils that could have been left on the nail. So again, this is the Young Nail Protein Bond. And then after this, we're going to go in with the acrylic. And for the acrylic, I'm going to be using my Mia Secret Frosted Pink, and you can find this on Nail Supply Glamour. I'll be sure to leave the link down below. Their website is my promo code is currently expired as of right now for them. But as soon as, I get a new one, I will be sure to post about it and leave it down below as well. But anyways, I'm just applying the Frosted Pink first. As you can see, I did the bead and placed it right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. I'm going to place the next one above it. And with this one, I just want to do, make sure that I get a nice coverage. But then I'm going to come back in with the Mia Secret Clear to actually build my apex and my thickness at the tip. But again, I'm just making sure that that I have a nice coverage and it's not kind of see-through-ish, if that makes sense. So make sure also that when you're applying the acrylic that you're really gentle, to not brush too hard, whenever you're applying it, because then you're going to basically be brushing the product off the nail. Alrighty, so now that we have a nice coverage with the Mia Secret Frosted Pink, I'm going in with the Mia Secret Clear, and we're going to apply that over the entire nail. And again, this, with this, I'm building my apex. Remember that you want to make sure that you have a nice apex. That way you don't, get any lifting, or you don't get any breakage as well. And then also making sure that we brush it all the way down towards the tip. That way we have a nice thickness at the tip, because if not, the nails will break off really easily. But your apex is where your nail gets its strength from. So if the nail does not have an apex and is just really flat, most likely your nail will break off really easily. And then also remember that when you're applying the acrylic, that you are wiping your brush off a lot when you're working. That's really important, because if not, that product is going to get stuck to your brush, and it's going to build up and keep building up into your brush until you're, it's like you're just going to have a hard time trying to get a smooth application. Alrighty, so same thing, we're going to go in and place the bead down right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, patting it down and then gently brushing it down towards the tip. Make sure that if you happen to get any product on the skin when you apply your beads, that you wipe it off immediately. That way you don't have any product on the skin. You don't want to flood your cuticle area, because then it's going to be really hard to remove, and then most likely you will get lifting. So remember that you want to make sure that to be able to get a smooth application, that you also have to make sure that you are working with the correct liquid to powder ratio. I do have a video on liquid to powder ratio, which I'll be sure to leave the link down below for you guys. But that is one of the questions that I've been getting a lot, is how to have a smooth application. And one of the main things is, again, making sure that you're using the correct liquid to powder ratio, because if you're not using enough liquid, your nails are going to be like, the acrylic is going to go on really dry, and it's gonna be hard to smooth it out, so it's gonna be lumpy. And then if you use too much liquid, then your beads are gonna be super liquidy. They're gonna run over to the sides, and then your acrylic is gonna go on super thin. So you want to make sure that you focus on that as well as a beginner. So again, I will be sure to leave the link down below to that video. But again, once we have a good coat or layer of the Mia Secret Frosted Pink, we can go in with the clear, and again make sure that you brush down really gently. This is my real speed, so as you can see I kind of brush, it's like I'm feathering the acrylic down towards the tip and then also wiping the sides. That way, you know, it just doesn't take away from our shape, so we won't have to do so much filing at the end. And remember to look at your nail from different angles. That way you are not just applying acrylic everywhere. I try to do the 4-bar method every time, but you know, sometimes you still need a little bit of acrylic, more like a little bit of acrylic here and there. So that's why I say look at the nail from different angles. That way you know exactly where you need to add more acrylic. But we're going to do the same process over and over again on all of the nails. But most importantly, again, when applying acrylic is making sure that you're working with the correct liquid to powder ratio. Also making sure that you're wiping your brush off a lot when you're working, cleaning around the cuticle area, and then brushing the acrylic down really gentle. Alrighty, so next we're going to go in and reshape the nails. So I'm using that same 100 nail file, doing the same thing that we did at the beginning, which is file the sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle. And of course, we're not having to do that much filing this time because we're just redefining that shape. Of course, it's already that coffin shape, but we just want to make sure that, you know, it's that perfect coffin shape, because after you apply the acrylic, it kind of takes away from your shape. So that's why we have to go in and redefine it. After that, we're going to go in with the extra fine drill bit, and we're going to be using the E file at 10,000 RPMs. So as you can see, I start around the cuticle area, going from the right side over to the left side, just going back and forth, and then filing the rest of the nail as well to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. As you can see, we're not having to do so much filing on the rest of the nail because it's already nice and smooth, but still, you know, we want to make sure that it's like really even and smooth, but focusing around that cuticle area first. You know, just keep going. I usually know when I filed enough, and that's when I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. All right, and I'm gonna freeze it right there because you can see that pinky exactly where the cuticle area is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is, and that's what I mean when I say you need to be able to see those three things. So we're gonna do that on the rest of the nails. So again, going from the right side all the way over to the left side, just going back and forth, and then again just filing the rest of the nail. I'm using the extra fine drill bit by Pana. You can find these on Amazon, and they're only about $7 or $8, maybe like $7.99. And I always get this one, which is the extra fine, and I get the extra I think it's extra coarse safety drill bit from them as well. Alrighty, so we did the same thing on this hand. So on the next hand, I actually, when I was reshaping, I only did one hand. So I'm gonna go in and do the same thing that I just did on this hand, which was reshape the nails, and then I'm gonna go in and file the nails as well. And usually I always make sure that I reshape them first, because then I don't know why, but it's a little bit harder to file them and then reshape them, if that makes sense. So I always reshape and then file them with the extra fine drill bit. Alrighty, so next we're going to go in with the buffer, and this is going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. So make sure that you buff those nails really good. Once you've buffed all of the nails, we're going to go in and just dust the nails off, wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, or you can have your client go wash their hands. Alrighty, so I finished wiping the nails, and I'm really not going to do much to this set other than just do a tiny SS6 bling on the pinky closer to the cuticle area. We're going to do that on both pinkies, and then after this, we're going to apply the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat on all of the nails, and we're going to cure each hand for 60 seconds. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out really pretty. That shape is flawless, and they just look so freaking clean and so pretty. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.